Appalling. Carney expels candidate for criticisms. Poilievre's tearful announcement shocks voters. The political landscape in Canada was rocked this week by two events that could define the trajectory of the upcoming federal election. One event unfolded with quiet fury behind closed Liberal Party doors, while the other took place in a packed room full of working-class Canadians, where emotion and politics collided. The expulsion of Chandra Arya by Liberal leadership for criticizing former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has triggered widespread condemnation and renewed questions about the state of freedom of speech within party politics. On the other end of the spectrum, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre delivered an emotional speech that left attendees stunned, showing a rarely seen human side of the polarizing political figure. Chandra Arya's dismissal was swift, brutal, and emblematic of a deeper crisis festering within the Liberal Party. Arya, who has represented Nepean in the House of Commons since 2015, had built a reputation as a steady, if quiet, parliamentarian. He was not known for controversy or confrontation. So when he spoke out publicly against the Trudeau-era policies and the direction the Liberal Party was taking under new leadership, many within the party were surprised, but perhaps more surprised by how quickly and forcefully he was cast out. Arya's comments were pointed. He accused the party, under Trudeau's leadership, of alienating middle-class Canadians by championing impractical policies that did little to address real-world issues. He warned that the party had become too preoccupied with symbolic victories while ignoring the economic hardships faced by everyday Canadians: rising inflation, unaffordable housing, ballooning deficits, and overbearing taxation. He also lamented the centralization of power around a small, elite circle that, in his words, had lost touch with the people they claimed to represent. The remarks sent shockwaves through the Liberal ranks. While internal debate is a natural and often healthy aspect of a vibrant political party, Arya's honesty was deemed unacceptable. Within days, he was informed that his candidacy would not be renewed. There was no public dialogue, no chance to clarify his position, just a swift severing of ties. The move was orchestrated under the emerging influence of Mark Carney, the former Bank of Canada governor and anticipated torchbearer for the Liberal Party's future. Carney's silence on the matter was interpreted by many as tacit approval. For party insiders, it was a warning shot. Any deviation from the party line, especially if it challenges the sanctity of Trudeau's legacy, would not be tolerated. To the public, however, the optics were chilling. What was once a party that prided itself on openness and progressive ideals was now being accused of authoritarian overreach and gatekeeping. Arya, undeterred, stood by his words. In a public statement following his expulsion, he doubled down on his belief that the Liberal Party had lost its moral compass. He claimed his only intention was to raise awareness about the growing disillusionment among grassroots members and voters. "If speaking truthfully about the challenges my constituents face is a disloyal act," he said, "then perhaps the party I once served has changed more than I thought." While Liberals scrambled to contain the damage, the Conservative camp capitalized on the unfolding drama. Poilievre, known for his sharp critiques of government excess and heavy-handed bureaucracy, was already gaining traction among voters looking for a change. But it was what happened during a town hall event in Calgary that truly altered the national conversation. Midway through an otherwise typical policy discussion, Poilievre paused. He began speaking about his upbringing, his family, and the values that drive his political mission. His voice cracked as he recounted the financial struggles his adoptive parents faced and the promises he made to fight for families like his own. It was raw, unscripted, and human. For a moment, the man many associate with fiery debates and relentless attacks stood before the crowd as a son, a husband, and a citizen. The crowd was visibly moved. Even critics of his policies acknowledged the power of the moment. In an age where political leaders often feel disconnected from the realities of ordinary Canadians, this was a reminder of why politics matters, why people choose to lead, and whom they claim to serve. Poilievre's vulnerability resonated in a way that no statistic or slogan ever could. This emotional appeal couldn't have come at a more strategic time. With the Liberals embroiled in controversy over censorship and candidate control, the Conservative leader's transparency served as a counterbalance, a contrast between two leadership styles, two visions of governance, and two very different approaches to loyalty and authenticity. Voters across the country took notice. Social media lit up with clips from Poilievre's speech, while political commentators debated the long-term consequences of Arya's expulsion. A growing number of Canadians began to question whether the Liberal Party, in its current form, was capable of introspection or renewal. Others worried that such tactics might only serve to push moderates away and solidify perceptions of elitism and detachment. Carney, who is widely expected to lead the Liberals into the next election, now finds himself at a crossroads. The handling of Arya's case has already tainted his image among undecided voters. If his early leadership is defined by the silencing of criticism and the enforcement of ideological purity, he risks alienating the very coalition he needs to win. In contrast, Poilievre's ability to channel emotion into connection while maintaining his aggressive stance on fiscal issues appears to be broadening his base. Meanwhile, Chandra Arya's expulsion may have made him politically expendable within his former party, but it also elevated him to a symbol of resistance. He has been embraced by independent voters and political outsiders as someone willing to speak up when others stay silent. As the election draws nearer, his voice may become even more significant, not as a party insider, but as a reminder of what happens when integrity meets orthodoxy. Canada now stands at a pivotal moment. The expulsion of a loyal MP for daring to voice dissent and the heartfelt appeal of a rising opposition leader has crystallized the stakes. Voters are watching closely. They see a ruling party increasingly defined by internal suppression and an opposition attempting to harness frustration into a new political movement. The message is clear. Canadians are hungry for leadership that listens, adapts, and evolves. Whether that leadership comes from the Liberals, the Conservatives, or elsewhere, one thing is certain: politics as usual is no longer acceptable. The people demand more, and they're ready to vote for it.